The intention is for this to be on my new YouTube channel that I started last evening. I'm going to do a few other videos, but this one's probably going to be posted first. But I want to go ahead on and be raw, get out what need to be got out from yesterday, and then we can proceed forward accordingly. All right? If you have not been following me, if you're finding this on Empress Siobhan, look up on YouTube Empress Shonda. Also the same thing on TikTok and Instagram. It's Divine Rashonda 1111 over on Facebook. You heard me? Alright, let's get into it. Like I said, these series are all things that my mama said. Now my mother said, my mama said. And the thing that jumped out at me on yesterday was my mama always told me, Rashonda, keep your independence. Keep your independence. Don't be dependent on nothing and nobody but God and yourself. But mainly God. Keep your independence. And like I was sharing with my husband yesterday I was in a situation such as that. But over the last month or so, I've been in a situation such as that. And if I'm real honest with myself, over the last 6 months to a year, I've been in it. I wasn't aware, but I've been in it. Mama always said keep your own house, keep your own car, keep your own money, keep your own job, your own business, keep your own clothes, your own shoes, your own hair, your own nails, your own toes. And it's funny because I kind of did two-part series on something connected to this in a way. You might want to go over to Empress Shonda and check it out. Um, but I said something a little bit similar to it yesterday morning. Anywho, the reason why she said those things is because, and the main time she kept repeating it, when I look back on our lives together, our life together, she would mainly say it when we was going in a storm. And I was so young, I didn't understand a storm. Like, long as I had my mother with me, I knew where she was, she knew where I was, and we were together. You couldn't tell me nothing. We actually came from a very poor and scarcity and lack lifestyle. But you couldn't tell me that. You couldn't tell me that because my mama was a worker bee. She emulated her life after her father. Her father that worked 2 jobs, put himself through school, built his family a brick house from the ground up, and built his family based off Christian principles as well as the Masons, the Freemasons. That being said, she idolized him in a way. Like, she wanted to work jobs just like he worked jobs. She wanted to support her house and her household just like he supported his house and his household. She was the apple of his eye and he was the apple of hers. That's just what it was. My mama was a daddy's girl, and I loved that for her because I wasn't. But it would be during a time where she had dropped the ball, not that she was trying to, but circumstances and situations in life had her dropping the ball. Either we were experiencing another homeless situation, and honestly, we experienced a lot of those. So many, I can't even use all my fingers and toes to count them all. I probably need more fingers and toes to count it. But when it was good, it was great. She took the little that she had and she turned it into a whole lot. She made sure our home was as warm and comfortable as possible, as cool and comfortable as possible, unless she couldn't afford the light bill. Because starting out in life, the government only paid her $236 a month. When she started working jobs, she would travel from North Carolina all the way to um, everywhere from Chesapeake to Suffolk to Newport News to Hampton to Virginia Beach for $4.15 an hour. I'm gonna say it for you one more time. For $4.15 an hour. And y'all already know it won't even net because taxes still came out. So do the math. But it would be during one of those times where she was pushing, she was doing everything that she could trying to keep it together. So if we ended up in a situation of being homeless, or our lights turned off, or our water turned off, or our phone turned off, or not having a car, she would have no choice at that point but to reach out for help. She had a young child on her own. She was a single parent. My daddy was not in our lives. My daddy did not provide for us. My daddy did not build any type of solid foundation for us. He built nothing. He gave nothing. He had no input into our lives. When he did come into our lives, it was to kill her joy and her happiness as well as mine. It was to take away her peace as well as mine. It was to destroy her confidence. It was to steal literally and figuratively. And I'm going to let you figure that one out for yourself. But that is the type of dad that I had, unfortunately. And so when he came in, that was mostly when life started going awry. When he came in, the light bill would shoot up sky high, because if he cold in the house, he ain't gonna be willing to get under some blankets, put some extra layer of clothing on. If he hot in the house, he ain't gonna be willing to walk around nude or in his boxer shorts or whatever. He would run up our light bill, and then when it got sky high and the lights was turned off, he would be gone. If we were low on groceries, didn't have no food, he would be gone. Anytime the home was not functioning the way it was before he arrived, he would exit stage left. And she would have no choice but to be dependent on somebody. She would go to family that always expected something in return, and way more than they should have ever expected, especially from a single mom doing it on her own. If she did get help from strangers, honestly, more strangers helped me and my family than relatives ever have. And whenever we were in a situation where we had to be in one of their houses, or we were in a situation where we needed to get a ride from them, paying crazy rad prices. We ain't talking $10. We ain't talking $15. We ain't talking $20. We talking $30. We talking $80. Just to go to the same church as you. And we share the same blood. This is the type of thing I'm talking about. Nitpicking and bullying and creating chaos and churros for absolutely no reason at all, when we're just trying to stay to ourselves and stay out the way. Me and my mom are a lot alike like that. When we going through knocks in life, we stay to ourselves. If we have a mate or something, we might be around that person. But we literally just cleave to God and ourselves. We don't want to talk. We don't want to laugh. We don't want to smile. We don't want to do any of that. Because when you heavy with depression, you're not in a space to be able to do that. You barely in space enough in your mind, body, spirit, and your soul to get up and do the good olds every day. Wash your face, brush your teeth, put some clean clothes on, feed yourself. You're barely in a space in your mind enough to be able to do that, let alone wanting to socialize, let alone wanting to say, oh girl, the sky's blue. Oh, did you see what was on the news? Mm-mm. And so that would just compound what we would already be going through. So whenever we were in a situation like that, having to literally walk from Cofield, North Carolina, through Winton, North Carolina, to Gates, North Carolina, and I do mean what I'm saying, and you've got your young 5-year-old child, 6-year-old child, 12, 13-year-old child having to have and go through experiences such as this. When somebody break bad and talk ugly to you for no reason at all. We're not saying being provoked. We're not saying you said or you did something out of the way. And boom, this is the explosion that you get. I mean, you say absolutely nothing. I mean, you trying to walk and back and forth in the hallway just to go to the kitchen to get you something to eat or something to drink, and then mosey back to your little corner that you've been told that you can stay in or whatever, just to stay out the way so other people can continue to live their lives accordingly. And having something such as that get you kicked out the house, all because you got somebody standing in front of you. They're not getting out of your way. They're not getting out of your pathway so you can walk. And then that turns into an argument that ends up allowing family to do something like that to you. That's just a little small taste of what she would be going through when she would grab me up, look me dead in my eye, and say, Rashonda, keep your independence. Somebody giving you something or doing something for you, and then feeling the need to throw in your face the fact that they doing it for you. Rashonda, keep your independence. You already thankful, grateful, and appreciative, and you have every intention on showing it and speaking it, but you're being forced and made to do it. Rashonda, keep your independence. You working hard, you going to work, and your job just keeps being in jeopardy. You're literally doing everything you're supposed to be doing. You're doing all the right things, but every week where you should be able to at least depend on, here's that word again, depend on, well, if I just get up, if I go to work, if I do my job, I get my check, I can keep knocking stuff down only to get a phone call, well, I'm sorry, but we're going to cancel your hours for tomorrow because this person got this, that, and the third going on. Keep your independence. And the last part of what I was like really sharing with my husband on yesterday, which made me start this series, was when I was working for myself for over 15 years of my life, from my mid to late 20s, all the way up until I turned 30, and then again in another industry from the time I hit 30, all the way up to me turning 33, 34, I was making crazy amounts of money. When all the stimulus checks and all that stuff came out, I got none of them. Didn't ask for it, didn't try to qualify for none of them. And God made ways for me. And yet, over the years between one industry and the other, all I had was people in my ear. Well, you need to get a job, Rashonda. Rashonda, you need to get a job. And I'm saying to myself, well, I know I'm pulling every bit of $10,000, and that's just being nice, a month. But these people is talking down to me all because of my circumstances and situations and all of what they don't see me having. Like, you don't see me having a car. It never occurs to you, I just don't know the process of buying a car. But I could have had 20 cars by now. I could have had 100 cars by now with all of the access to funds that I, on a consistent basis, had flowing. Everybody getting in my ear about me getting a job. So I'm like, well, dang, I'm making about 10,000 or more a month. These people acting like if I go get a job, I'm going to be making that amount and more. And it sounds easier because I got the hustle and bustle in my business. You know, I got a market. I'm the only person. I don't have no team. I'm doing all the marketing. I'm doing all the advertising. And I'm doing all the serving. I'm doing all the creating products and services. I am taking all the payments. I'm serving all the customers and the clients. I'm doing it all. And y'all making it seem like it's so much easier and it's way more profitable to have a job. Let me tell you something, honey. If I want the God-fearing woman that I am, and I want trying to stay in alignment with Jesus, I would literally want to take my hand and slap the taste out of every person's mouth that ever looked at me crazy because I didn't have a job, let alone opening their mouth to me saying, why don't you have a job? Because the money that I've made, I even made $10,000. I mean, consistent. I even made $10,000 in a year, let alone made $10,000 in a month, which is what the world was trying to get me to believe when I was in PCs and Flow, Joy and Glory, running my businesses. Everybody else that was hustling and bustling and going to jobs and all that, having taxes taken out and all that, I was responsible for paying my taxes. But at the same time, I was still getting over cross grip. And I didn't have to do anything illegal. I didn't have to do anything to put my life in jeopardy. I didn't have to deal with unseen body languages, nasty attitudes, and people having misguided and misunderstandings I didn't have to go through any of that. The worst thing I had to do was hang up my phone. The worst thing I had to do was shut down my computer if I started to experience anything like that. So to go through all of what I've gone through since I've done this good old thing everybody wanted me to do, which is go get a job. I done did Popeyes, I done did Family Dollar, I done did TE, I done did Waffle House, and now I done home health. Now I'm doing home health. And I still ain't seen even a fourth, a third, a second, let alone a first amount of what I'm used to my father, my first husband, providing for me. Rashonda, keep your independence. That's what my mama said. And all the experiences that I have had in the last 4 years, the experiences I done had in the last month, the experiences I done had in the last week, the experiences I done had in the last couple of days, let me tell you something. I wouldn't care if the trees themselves started singing and they specifically told me that I needed to do something that would take away my independence or my God dependence. I'm going to keep right on walking. I'm going to keep on stepping. Why? Because mama said keep your independence. And that means all things that could make you dependent on somebody or something that don't have the love of God in it or in them. Because as soon as you put your trust, your heart, your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul, your resources, as soon as you give the access to you over to somebody else and you become dependent on them, you are opening yourself up to be walked like a dog. You are opening yourself up to be treated less than a child of God. You are opening yourself up to go through anything and everything that you signed up for by handing over your independence. If there are men and women out here that would like to do that and that's the lifestyle that you want and you're cool with it, I ain't judging you. Trust me, I'm not. This is not an opinion to judge you. If that's your choice, that's your choice. You can live with it, you can live with it. But mama always said, keep your independence. And that's what I'm saying to y'all this morning. But I love y'all. Only let my story and what my mama said be a template over your life to help get you and keep you in alignment for your greatest and highest good. I love y'all, and I hope y'all have an amazing day. You heard me? Peace.